For convicted polo mogul John Goodman, he's back in jail after allegedly trying to bust his house arrest monitoring bracelet. News Channel 5 anchor Jay Cashmere leads our coverage of the very latest live from the Palm Beach County Jail. Jay?
Yeah, Michael, bizarre chain of events overnight at the Wellington home of polo mogul John Goodman. Right now at this hour, John Goodman remains behind bars after trying to break off that ankle bracelet, as you mentioned. PBSO saying that this was no accident, that he knew exactly what he was doing. John Goodman, as you know, has been on house arrest since May after being sentenced to 16 years in prison in connection with the drunk driving crash that killed Scott Wilson in 2010. Sometime after 11 o'clock last night, the sheriff says John Goodman tried to pry off that tracking device with a small mirror. He was upstairs in his bathroom, and that triggered a chain of events. Two off-duty deputies stationed at his home, which he was paying for, learned of this within seconds and immediately responded. They, of course, brought him in here to the Palm Beach County Jail, immediately taken into arrest, and that's where we are here right now. Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, there's a hearing. Both sides will really hash this out to determine whether or not John Goodman stays in jail or whether he returns to Wellington. I want to welcome in News Channel 5 legal analyst Michelle Suskauer. Judge Jeffrey Colbath is presiding over this hearing tomorrow morning. He was pretty defiant on what he expected from John Goodman when he served this house arrest. What can we expect tomorrow morning?
Well, we're going to have an evidentiary hearing, which means there is going to be testimony from witnesses, from sheriff's deputies who possibly were there with him, things that were found, if there were scissors found, what they saw. And so you're also going to hear from the other side as well. You may actually hear from John Goodman, because what the state has to prove is that this was an intentional, a willful violation of his house arrest. And, you know, it can't be on assumptions. It has to be on hard evidence, and then completely up to the judge as to what's going to happen.
When you look at the scope of this, all the ramifications that surrounded his house arrest, why would he do such a thing? It seems quite bizarre.
You know, it doesn't make sense to me. This is someone who is who's been on house arrest since May, who's spending tens of thousands of dollars, who has sheriff's deputies 25 feet from him at all times, 24/7. Why would he do something like this? Maybe it's a misunderstanding. I don't know, but we're going to find out tomorrow. I think it's going to be very, very interesting as to what the witnesses are going to testify to.
Certainly will. Michelle Suskauer, News Channel 5 legal analyst. Michelle, thank you very much.
Sure.
A lot more to come, a lot more questions that need to be answered. We'll find those answers tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., much more at the top of the hour at 6. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Jay Cashmere from the Palm Beach County Jail. Thank you. And now